If you're inspo tanks, and make no mistake, you've come to the right place. Just give to Neil the time to straight up blow your mind with a new show of drawing a blank.
Alright, so my life has become Animal Crossing. When I'm not working, I'm fishing up sea bass, digging up fossils, paying off my debts to Tom Nook, and chatting it up with my villagers. But of course, that got me thinking, what if warrior cats were Animal Crossing characters? The Animal Crossing cats are adorable, and I need Raymond to join my town, but let's try to adapt some of my warriors' designs as villagers. For some of you who may not really know what Animal Crossing is, Animal Crossing villagers can have several types of personalities, so I'm going to be trying to match warrior cats to those personality types and go from there and try and figure out, like what they would do in your town and that kind of thing. So first things first, I had to decide which characters to do. I wanted to pick characters that have strong personalities that would fit into the Animal Crossing world. Firestar and Graystripe were the obvious first picks as the series' two most iconic characters, and they felt like a good starting point to let myself practice how I would blend my style and the Animal Crossing's much rounder and cuter aesthetics together. Because Animal Crossing uses a bunch of different animals, it's important to keep the shape simple and the characters have to keep the look of the animal they're portraying. For this reason, I tried to keep that base Animal Crossing cat shape, with little bean bodies, pointed ears, and round heads. I did take a few liberties to help distinguish each character though, like giving long-furred characters big fluffy tails when usually the tails are pretty small. This is mostly going to be like a study of Animal Crossing design versus my own design and how I would kind of blend the two. Along with Firestar and Graystripe, I went with Crowfeather, Squirrel Flight, Yellow Fang, Needletail, Jayfeather, and then our three leads from the current books, Shadowsight, Rupa, and Bristle Frost. The posing of each character really helped me figure out their personalities that I would give them, and it helped me imagine how I would see these characters act in the game. Starting with Firestar, again, he's kind of my general test before tackling characters with stronger personalities. So, Firestar gets a very casual outfit, just a green polo shirt. Professional, but friendly. Here's where I also had to figure out exactly how much detail to do on the faces. The stripes for sure have to be limited, and I made his muzzle markings match the way several other cats look in the game. I also wasn't sure if Animal Crossing characters have noses, but looking into it a little bit more, usually it's kind of an off and on kind of thing, kind of like with how they do eyebrows and such. In general, I decided to give all my characters noses because it just didn't feel right without giving them a little snoot to boop. Simple, easy, Firestar. If he was an Animal Crossing villager, he would definitely be the jock type. He probably keeps his house super tidy and loves taking care of plants in between workouts. Graystripe is going to be a lazy type villager, because of course he is. I had fun trying to put features on Graystripe similar to my own design, and I think it worked out alright. Alas, we do have to say goodbye to his lovely funky eyebrows. Moment of silence for all eyebrows going forward. Graystripe looks a little bit more like Gray Paw in this. The striped shirt and backwards cap make him look more like a kid, but I think that works, because that goofy, fun-loving Graystripe is kind of how we all think of him anyway. It's hard to imagine Graystripe dressing in anything nicer than a t-shirt with a tux and bow tie printed on it. I also imagine that his house wouldn't have a bed, but a hammock or two instead. Once I finished those two up, I was starting to feel more confident with giving them clothes, so next up is Crowfeather! Yay! Had to go with a bad boy aesthetic here. Leather jacket, pierced ears, boots. Oh, he's adorable. Crowfeather definitely has the cranky personality, and he would probably gossip about all the other villagers constantly whenever he's outside. But whenever you find him alone in his house, he would be making DIYs as secret gifts to everyone, and have you gift them. I also imagine he likes getting gifts of plush animals. Big cranky cat on the outside, but soft sweet man on the inside. Now, Squirrel Flight was a ton of fun to do. I really love how she turned out. Her design translated super well to the Animal Crossing style, and she's just so cute to begin with. I was afraid she would end up looking more like a squirrel villager, but I think that she kept her cat look. I also decided to put Squirrel Flight in overalls because I guess we're going for the farmer's daughter vibes. But seriously though, she looks heckin' cute in overalls, and you can't convince me otherwise. Of course, Squirrel Flight gets the peppy personality, and she loves to chat it up with all the other villagers and being friends with everyone, though she'll totally gossip with you about them behind their backs. I also imagine her telling you that she absolutely loves all the gifts you give her, but if there's anything she doesn't like, you find it in the recycling bin the next day. Alright, and on to Yellow Fang, and I'm going to give her the big sister personality type, which basically means she's more tomboyish. I know, it's a weird name for a personality type, but hey, I don't make the rules. I could also see her as the normal/sweet personality a little bit, but the big sister fits her more rude, blunt attitude. I'll be 100% honest here, I mostly did Yellow Fang because I wanted to draw her in a little doctor's coat. Yellow Fang would always have medicine on her, and if you ever got stung by wasps, you could go find her and she'd give you some medicine while yelling at you to not get stung again. Yellow Fang would be a pretty quiet villager, mostly doing things by herself or occasionally getting into spats with other villagers. And okay, if I had a bit of a hard time figuring out Yellow Fang's personality, it's because I had no doubt in my mind where Needletail fit. She is your rock and roll, rebellious big sister type to a T. I loved making Needletail's outfit. This is my aesthetic. She's got a dyed purple denim jacket she's ripped the sleeves off of, black denim shorts and fishnet leggings, boots, and a skull bandana that she can, quote, use to conceal her identity when the rebellion begins. I love her. Needletail will constantly be telling you crazy things and conspiracies that she has with great amounts of gusto, but then end every conversation with, it's whatever. Next up is Jayfeather, and I'm not sure if cranky or smug suits him better. While he's a lot like Crowfeather body type-wise, his design is obviously very different. I like how his little stripes came out. Jayfeather would also wear a blue button-up shirt. It's the same clothes he's been wearing his whole life, and you can't make him change. Plus, it gives him a very I was forced to attend Sunday school every week of my life vibe, and I think that suits Jayfeather quite well. Jayfeather likes to hang out in places where other villagers are hanging out, but he doesn't talk to them much. He also doesn't like to gossip, but he will tell you if there are other villagers who are upset with each other, and he'll tell you to go deal with it. Jayfeather loves being gifted plants and spends a lot of time tending his garden. Alright, time for the new kids. Starting with Shadowsight, I had a bit of trouble imagining an outfit for him, but I went with a hoodie because I think he'd have the lazy type personality. Lazy type can also just kind of be a default or normal personality type, so I think out of our options that suits him best. I think Shadowsight would look good in just about any clothes you gave him. Shadowsight's design is definitely one that pushes that is this recognizable as a cat first and foremost boundary, as he looks almost more like a little gray raccoon or something, but I'm not gonna fuss over it now. I like Shadowsight's design too much to mess with it. As a villager, Shadowsight would sleep in really late and then tell you all about the crazy dreams he had. He would also probably give you random things and give you cryptic messages on how you should definitely put this in your house to protect you, but then be super vague on what exactly it was he was protecting you from. And then when you open the present, you find like a toaster or something. Cute, yet slightly unnerving things like that. For Rupa, I really wish we had a shy personality type or something, but since we don't, I guess we'll go with Jock. I love Rupa's scruffy hair and the cap. I considered simplifying Rupa's design overall, but I ended up liking how it looked once it was on him. Rupa would hang out with everyone and be really good friends with most villagers, but every once in a while at night you would find him standing off alone by himself and talking to someone you can't see. Spooky. I also imagine him being a bit of a klutz, and he mostly talks about working out when he's talking to other villagers he's trying to impress. And last but not least, we get Bristle Frost, and Briss gets the normal or sweetie personality type. Bristle Frost is a cutie, and I wanted to give her a sweet little flower dress. When I thought of doing this for drawing a blank, I was honestly a little afraid I wouldn't be able to come up with enough good clothes for everyone to wear, but it ended up being the part I had the most fun with. As a villager, Bristle Frost would have a cute but simple little house with a nice little kitchen and a wooden bed frame. A lot of her DIYs that she would give you would probably be heart-shaped themed, and she'd be constantly trying to get the attention and affections of the other villagers, and frustrated if there was a villager not paying enough attention to her. And there we have it! 10 different warrior characters as Animal Crossing villagers. I wish I had time to do more of these because they were a lot of fun. If anyone wants to design more Warriors villagers, I'd love for you to share those with me at TennielFlowers on Twitter or at Sumatra on DeviantArt. There is so many characters in Warriors and I barely scratched the surface, so I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go get some turnips and watch the stock market. This game is fun, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are, and please stay inspired.